abilities. I guess the nicest lane they maybe have is having AA plus Sven is quite good. Cold Feet does a lot of damage. It has a layered stun, so they have the potential to kill the people they're laning against. But Chaos Knight's also really strong, and they've got an IO to back it up. So that kind of feels to me like that kind of offsets the offensive potential that they have on the TSM side. And then their other lane is a Underlord plus Mirana, which is very blah. So I'm not sure if TSM's laning stage has that much kill potential outside of landing like arrows, or maybe until once they start doing rotations with Pudge. But their late game does seem very countered as well. The Ursa is going to have a fantastic game probably. Again, they don't have a kill duel lane. They basically pick these heroes that counter Chaos Knight carry, and then Quincy's just like, all right, it's an off lane. And now TSM's like, well, we picked an off laner that hard counters like Chaos Knight core, and it's effective, but it's a 3. I don't know. I just feel like Quincy has a lot of really good things going for them this game. So I think it's going to be hard for TSM for sure. But they definitely have some options. Once they get into the mid game, you know, if Tomato has a good game, he can clear up a lot of really important kills. He can burst down a lot of the Quincy side heroes that aren't Ursa.
I think for sure we're gonna be oh gosh, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, I was about to say, where's the tip? That's a tip moment.
Hooks your support away from.
We're gonna get a replay of this.
So funny.
Oh no.
They were not not coordinating the best.
Yeah, it happens. You know, get it out now before the game really gets started, right? You know, gotta have that synergy with the draft coming out from the side of TSM, which is already a little bit harder to execute. I think the thing that's a little worrying too is the fact that Quincy, they just have so many methods of being able to regen, right? Especially during the laning phase when it's super important, especially with the fact that salves have also been, you know, nerfed a bit. It's definitely very valuable.
It's going to make Leslau's lane like really solid, because they've already going to have a lot from Chaos Strike alone. Having IO on top of that is really good. Playing Necrophos versus Pudge is basically ideal, right? Your hero Necrophos usually just counters anybody that is a melee hero in the mid lane, and anybody that has a lot of HP, he's even better against them because Heartstopper Aura does percentage-based damage, and his ulti kills them too. So maybe Pudge is going to have some magic resistance later from his items, but I mean, Fleshy does stop the Heartstopper Aura while it's active at least, so they've got that going for them, but that's the only real big advantage that Brawl's going to have in this lane. So Quinn's just going to sit here hitting creeps constantly. Worst thing that could happen to him is he gets hooked under tower without having Ghost Shroud, but as long as Quinn's pretty careful, he should be able to kind of own this lane.
I'm just remembering, I just realized it was TSM that ran this Pudge before, right? And yep. I think Misery's their coach. They did an interview with him, and I believe during that game of Pudge, he didn't land a single hook. And they had asked, like, do you think that, you know, Pudge is good? And he's like, well, our coach said I didn't land a single hook. Oh my God, Tomato's just barely gonna survive this. Our coach said I didn't land a single hook, and we won with it. So I guess, yeah.
he did land some hooks. It just wasn't, you know, he missed some, but he did fine. He did totally fine. I think the one of the other nice advantages that we've seen from the mid Pudge in a lot of cases is that you can kind of just like stick in the lane a lot against some heroes and kind of just farm a lot. Mm-hmm. And then you farm small camps, and it doesn't really cost you a whole lot of regen items. But against the Necrophos lane, that's not going to be the case. He picks up the bottle to help offset some of the harass he's going to take here. But again, Quinn's going to have a really nice time against the Pudge. Every time he comes up for a last hit, he gets attacked. He gets Heartstopper Aura. Like, Quinn even got 2 points in Heartstopper Aura because he's like, that's fine. I don't need Death Pulse to be that leveled up. I just want to do as much damage to you as possible to force you out of the lane.
Yeah, they have a lot of good solutions on the side of Quincy crew for dealing with some of these more tanky heroes that are on the side of TSM, with having, you know, the Ursa, stacking up Fury Swipes, and then, of course, you know, the Necrophos. But on the flip side of that, they do have themselves an Ancient Apparition over on the side of TSM that's going to be able to offset some of the healing that'll be coming out of Quincy crew. The problem is you need to get to that level 6, and you need to make sure that all your snowballs connect. I know Fly played this recently. I believe it was up against like the Dawnbreaker specifically as well, and it was very, very effective. But it does come down to that execution.
Yeah, and having like a guy that can go in first and stun is almost always the best combo. Dubu getting pressured here. Great Warcry though. That's kind of a nice counter actually against the offlane CK, is that normally you're killing supports very, very easily, because once you use a Reality Rift, their armor's lowered by 4, they're usually kind of low anyways. You do a lot of damage, but if Tomato just has to press Warcry for 30 mana, he's offsetting a lot of the mana that Chaos Knight just spent to even try to poke Dubu. So that was kind of a cool little solution here against the CK offlane. Not to mention that he'll have Cleave later to deal with it, and it does get an initiation to the dive here.
Yeah, the dive over in the mid lane.
He gets him. The tower betrayed him.
It's not going to be enough.
Tower turned. All right, I don't know if you're using the static ones, but on mine I have like a different one. It turned a little bit. It was like about to attack him, but just slightly out of range. That could have been huge. Brawl also doesn't have boots, so like chasing down Quinn when Quinn has boots already a little bit difficult, but a really good attempt.
Well, he's landed all of his hooks so far from what we've seen, so definitely shaping up to be a decent game this time for Bryle on the Pudge. We'll see how far that translates in though later on. And again, we're seeing
kind of a different skill build on Pudge too. He's gotten 3 points in Raw and 1 Flesh Heap. It seems like players are still finishing or figuring this out, but it's a little spooky here. He can't necessarily jungle without taking no damage now, but he does have better kill potential against Quinn, and that's what he's fishing for here. He's hoping to get him under tower. He throws a hook, he misses, so that didn't happen. And now, I don't know, is he jungle? The game's in a weird state. I feel like this is the one lane that you definitely want a lot of Flesh Heap in when you're being harassed a lot. But back in the safe lane here, a little pressure on Moon Meander. Easy for him to leap away, of course.
Yeah, I'll take a little bit of harass from UR, but the dive over on the mid lane now. They've got the sight, and they've got a kill on Pudge.
Well, at least he didn't get the Reapers to regen, so that's the upside here. But yeah, this lane is really, really tough here for the Pudge to play. Like the value that we saw from him in some of the other games, like Nouns playing him, for example, you just don't take much damage. You're constantly clearing creep waves and clearing neutrals. But now it's just Quinn being aggressive.
I mean, they have so much regen, like we talked about earlier, right? Bryle is over here, though.
Oh, it blocks the hook.
He's hoping he could get a hand.
That was so cool.
Doesn't have that level 6 online. They do get the kill on the catapult, but now they're going to just chase after Bryle because they've got all this regen. The cookie hop from Fata going to be able to go stun Bryle. But Meander, there's only so much that he can do. He's going to leap forward. He's going to try to burst down MSS, but he's got to be careful because MSS also just to turn back on. Oh, don't quite manage to land the hook, but they do secure themselves a kill. Quinn continues to chase a little bit here.
It was so important they got the catapult because just now that range creep in the mid lane is gone. I feel like the tower would have just simply died if they didn't react so well on TSM side. They didn't have 2 abilities that one-shot catapults. That would have been a mid tower dying. But ultimately, Bryle keeps himself alive with the Flesh Heap there and gets out, really stopping a lot of that like more catastrophic fight. Like it's still 1-1. I can't believe it. As much fighting as we just saw.
Yeah, Quinn definitely off to a nice start though, 3.2k, and with that dive though, with the IO paired up with the Necro, it is just so difficult to do enough damage to stop the two of them, right? Because they just have the non-stop circle of healing that goes around. So they're able to make these risky plays because they know they don't have a solution for it yet. They don't have something like a Vessel, obviously. They don't have, you know, the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast online just yet. So they really can push these limits and be super aggressive, which is super fun because I don't normally think of Necro as one of those heroes, right? That's going to be able to be super flashy, super aggressive. But when it's paired up with an IO and you're in the lead like this, it feels pretty darn good.
Especially against a weird hero like Pudge. A lot of mid heroes have like mobility stuff. They can easily get away with Necro if he ever gets aggressive. Pudge is super slow. He has vulnerabilities there. And speaking of which, Bryle is actually just kind of jungling at this point. Pressure on Saberlight though.
Yeah, they've got a lot of slow. Does UR go for the dive here? Yeah, I assume he would. One more hit over on Saberlight. And there it is. There's the value. Dubu now being dove by Loud and MSS. And oh, Quinn was over there. Quinn somehow getting the final hit.
Nice. And he getting some anti-healing of his own. Fast Spirit Vessel on the Necrophos. Has proved to be quite useful as a tool to make it easier to get Reaper's Scythe. You're just getting a damage item. It's more powerful than a Dagon, really, for about the same cost, not to mention the extra survivability you get. It'll be great against Pudge, great against Underlord, great against Sven. That's 3 heroes that he can use this early net worth advantage to punish effectively on the map. So, yeah, aggression's going to continue. Mid tower is still alive, but there's a lot of heroes jungling on the TSM side. Like, Bryle did a large camp, and now he moves over, does another large camp. Tomato's hitting large camps as well. The pressure from the Quincy crew side seems overwhelming right now. So they need to react really carefully for the next couple movements. Otherwise, they're just going to get really behind in this game.
Got the aggression. Fata's just over here in this middle lane, chasing after Bryle, and he's just gonna take him out. That is not a good feeling when the position 5 kills the mid lane in a solo. Dubu also falling here. Saberlight using the Fiend's Gate. He's got to get out of here. It is just too risky.
I really think the skill build that Bryle went for here kind of hurt him. The 1-3-1, when he was forced into the jungle, if you're not taking 0 damage from Rot while you're jungling, you're hurting yourself. That was the problem with Rot before. It's that you couldn't use it to kill creep waves or neutrals because you always lose so much HP, so you need to buy like a hood or tranquils to offset it. When he got more rots than flesh sheep, he's taking damage while rotting, and that's why he went back to lane low HP and got killed by Fata. Because while jungling, he was in a bad spot. I mean, ultimately it comes from the Necropost in the first place, but maybe Brawl not in this position before.
He'll be able to find themselves a nice pick off using the Moonlight Shadow, so Bryle will finally get himself a kill, and that will help him propel forward.
He needed that really bad. It's not going to solve all of his problems, but every kill that he gets a part of, a little bit more flesh heap, all that will add up, get him a little closer to stabilizing this match.
They got to get some
So
levels
at least
on
the
Dubu.
mid tower's alive too.
They got to get some levels on Dubu,
yes, they do.
He's just hit 5 now, but that Ice Blast is very instrumental, I think, in a lot of these ganks that they're going to try to perform, as Saberlight is being pincered upon here in the bottom lane. They smoked up on Fata and Quinn. They're going to shove the wave in.
So no TP on Pudge to back him up if he gets going on.
They've got a Scythe up. Like, this is one of the draws here, is that, you know, you find the big tanky boy, you get him to a low enough amount, and then you Scythe them just like that. There you go. Easy peasy.
It's a great way to solve that problem. If they try to approach him, he's just going to start TPing away, or he's going to hide in TPing. But using the kisses just for vision makes that fight that kill really, really easy.
All right, there's a
Great
good
hook on
hook
mid lane.
here. They'll follow up with an arrow, completely stunning into place. MSS is going to be coming back to his death, it's most likely, unless they can get some of these heroes in position he can tether off. But it's going to be very difficult, perhaps. Although, no, maybe not. He is going to go over. He's going to burn Quinn this time around. A little bit of that cookie forward there. Seem a little bit reticent to try to go and jump on Quinn. He is very scary, and arrow does connect, but they drop a charge of the urn over on him. It just feels like they don't know how to approach this over on the side of TSM. This tower, they go for a denial now. All right, Bryle sees the opening. The cookie hop though immediately cancels it out here from Fox. The Ice Blast though coming in hot, managing to take out 2 on the side of Quincy. What a bait. Oh, and they get the hook back over on MSS. There we go. All right, TSM, they're back in this battle.
Brawl played that perfect. He basically said, like, my life does not matter. What is important is that we walk in and we set up an Ice Blast stun. And in that moment, it had to be him that went for it. So he just walks in and he dismembers the Necro. And yeah, sure, there's a cookie that interrupted it really quickly here. But ultimately, great Ice Blast from Fata. Or sorry, from Dubu. Saberlight also is there to add more disable and some great damage. They finally win a really big fight on their side. They did lose towers, so not in the best place in the world. But levels, they get to catch up a little bit. They get some cat pets in the meantime.
Yeah.
They needed that fight really bad.
All right, well, things evening out a little bit here, although they are hunting Bryle. They'll have to use the Moonlight Shadow. They've got the dust, though, and they definitely have the damage. So this little hit and run through the jungle will pay off for the side of Quincy.
Bryle opting for the old Ags build. Definitely one of the options for Pudge. I love that they went for a kill first, then they start Rosh instead. Just makes it so much easier. No chance that TSM can test. So, easy Rosh for them, and in the meantime, TSM going to go try to pressure themselves.
Yeah, they have the Spirit Vessel completed now for the Mirana, so that is going to provide a little bit of that anti-healing, but still very much dependent upon this Ice Blast.
Yeah, that's definitely the big value for sure. So it comes down to, can they keep Necro alive in these like burst moments? Is he going to get Ice Blasted basically? If he's a little bit too far forward, if he gets hooked, they're going to put all the pressure on him. They kill Quinn. The rest of their fight should be more straightforward, because then all they have to worry about damage-wise is basically Ursa, because remember, they do still have great solutions against CK. Leslau's hitting creeps is now worth his fine, but not that incredible. So I think that's really the big thing. Can they initiate, kill Necrophos, and then can they work on Ursa afterwards? That's what they have to do every single fight.
They've got the Aegis for the Ursa, so they can be a bit more aggressive. They can move across the river if they want to. They've got options on the side of Quincy crew. Go for a smoke play behind you are. See if they can wrap around. This Mirana has been spending a lot of time here, but nope, they've got their eyes into the jungle. They've got some bigger plans. Some Bryle. This little cat man just trying to get away along with Saberlight. They'll back off.
Yeah, they read that one just fine. Instead, just farming on the map. Game's very equal at the moment. Net worth wise, seems the difference is that Mirana is insanely farmed actually.
Ooh, a good hook here from Bryle. The follow up with air with the Ice Blast. But this is not looking great here for Bryle as he's just barely going to survive. The Warcry coming in clutch and the Fiend's Gate coming out. Saberlight getting to position. They burnt the Aegis. Can they do more though? Can they get more damage off? As now TSM, with the rest of the team showing up, it's a little bit dodgy for them. These Snapfire Kisses getting tossed through. Now they're sitting a little low on the side of TSM, but they end up not having any casualties and just enough damage to take out that Aegis.
That was so close for a lot of the TSM players. Bryle was an inch away from death there. Half of an attack more, he definitely gets killed. So amazing they're able to survive. Game's still in about the same state. Good for them though. They get the Aegis killed. Next follow-up on Ursa's not going to feel nearly as hard. Yawari's queuing up a Blink Dagger and a BKB. We'll see which one he finishes first. He did start the BKB just now. Probably does need it, considering all of the obnoxious disable they have to deal with. But like I mentioned right before that fight, Mirana's farm is really high. Moonmeander has 55 last hits right now. His net worth is actually equal, basically in the same reign as the Pudge and the Underlord. And I think that's basically because he was like the one guy that can actually lane okay. He can go against the Necrophos and not die, and he could go against the Ursa and not die. Both of those heroes counter melees, so it basically allowed Moonmeander to just hit way more creeps than normal. He got to farm creeps in these areas that actually were viable, and that's why he got his Spirit Vessel. Such a good timing. So if he can use this, if they can get a pick off even on Fodder here, get 2 charges, take a longer fight, it would be really good for them.
Oh, they see Lizlau. Drop the pit, drop the Ice Blast. They have more than enough damage. They're not going to have a Chaos Knight.
Can they get more?
Look for more. Yeah, they're going to go after you are here. A nice hook landing here from Bryle. Tomato was waiting in the tree line. Could follow up with a nice throw. Okay, they'll be able to go get the reload out. Fata not going to be as lucky as they'll wait around for MSS to come back. He's going to be coming back
dead.
alone. Oh, yeah, he is.
They'll have Pit of Malice. And
yep.
Wow, that was incredible timing. Saberlight did not have to wait that long. He could have put that down and just left it on the ground. No, he just wanted to show, oh, I know relocate timing. I'm ready for this. So, hey, they looked real rough for TSM, I gotta say, in that laning stage for a lot of people, but they've won enough fights now. They've really brought it to Quincy crew.
You're gonna walk until you... Okay, Lizlau doesn't manage to cancel out the TP as Quincy retakes the side of their jungle. Tomato still playing in this bottom area, though. Has been effective. Hits creep wave, usually disappears from tree. Now Mirana gonna have to hop away. There's too much damage, though, with the Phantasm and also the Ursa top lane. Some of those kisses getting tossed out. Saberlight, he's running. It feels like he's playing whack-a-mole right now, but he'll survive it. Drums will get popped. He's gonna go for Fiend's Gate. Yeah, it's too risky otherwise, right? With Fata being able to cancel it out.
Still decent for Fodder to force that out, but Saberlight gets the wave pushed out once again. TSM just trying to continue to buy more time to get their heroes more farmed, because again, Ice Blast is the power of the skill. Really, is just that you're guaranteeing a kill on one guy, and it's even better if you get these anti-healing. If you're against these anti-healing heroes. So if they go ultra late game, I think they're still pretty comfortable with what they're playing with. Pudge Hook late game is really effective as well, of course. Hooking people out of position kind of guarantees a teamfight win in a lot of cases. As Sven gets later and later to the game, he's also relatively comfortable. The amount of armor he's going to give his teammates is really, really good. That'll help offset some of the offensive potential of Ursa. Ursa also went to the Diffusal build, super normal, but he won't farm extremely fast. He'll just farm relatively quickly. So I think this looks fine as TSM continues on in the late game. They definitely recovered in a big way.
I feel like that's one of the things I really like about when you have a Pudge and a lineup. Usually, more as like a support, but the idea of the hook being very low committal, right? If you go fishing, you find someone, great. You get that initiation, it's great. But sometimes, if you end up missing it, you're just back off. You just back off. Yes, the enemy team's like, okay, well, they've lost a form of initiation, but there are other forms of initiation from the side of TSM that they can rely on as well.
Yeah, that's true. And you can also wait for that arrow to land as well. Multiple skill shots to abuse. But ultimately, Underlord is going to be the most reliable one right now between the Pit of Malice and the Atos. It's going to be super effective at setting up those follow-up disables. But that's what they got to do. Keep the tanky people sort of in front. Fish until you can land an easy disable in the Quincy crew lineup, land an arrow or hook to follow it up, and then kill that guy. If it's an important core like Ursa or Necrophos, you commit the Ice Blast, and then you run at your opponents immediately afterwards, and ideally win the rest of the fight. They should be able to do so. Maybe it changes when Ursa gets a little bit more farmed. Once he gets like Basher BKB territory, then it gets a lot scarier because generally he's gonna be able to kill the guy he goes on. But if they buy some good defensive items on the TSM side, they can deal with that as well. Maybe a Force Staff would be smart. Quinn bought one as well. Force Staff both games of his series because his hero is a little bit countered. As long as if a stun's going to hit him like a Sven stun or something, as long as he gets Force Staff off, it's going to be a lot harder for Dubu to land the Ice Blast correctly. So if they can just disjoint that a little, that's going to be the way for them to win War. Oh, he does go for the next wave.
Right into the side of TSM. Ice Blood. Now he's got his BKB just freshly delivered here. As Tomato also has his own BKB, but that's so much damage. Turn back around. They've got the dismemberment. Can they finish off War fast? No, they'll end up taking out Tomato. Saberlight not looking healthy either. He's going to get taken out with a scythe, and Brile over here on the back lines will fall to Fata as Dubu teleports out. He's not going to be able to do it. Quincy crew taking that fight in their own triangle. They were about to get ganked, but the gank train turned back around.
I mean, War reacted really quick, but that fight was not supposed to go like that for TSM. That was a gimme kill on the Ursa without a doubt. But this tree position, unfortunately, that when they spotted him, they just weren't ready for it. I don't know why they didn't stun earlier. Maybe a mistake for my Tomato. He also didn't use Warcry pre-Mask of Madness. That cost him a lot. That's why he's dying so fast, War. If he had cast Warcry first, he probably kills War. They take the rest of this fight. It goes fine. Instead, it was Ursa getting huge longevity out of his engagement. And Quincy crew turns a fight that was not supposed to go like that. Tomato's kicking himself. It was kind of his responsibility to stun. It had to be either had to be him or it had to be Dismember from Pudge, and neither person threw it. And as a result, Ursa gets all of his immunity stuff off and gets to take a full fight.
Yeah, just one of those little mistakes there that perhaps they figured, okay, this should be a free gimme, but they didn't realize that he had a BKB, and they didn't realize how fast the rest of Quincy crew was going to respond to protect their Ursa.
It's possible they were looking somewhere else on the map. You know, the smoke kind of broke at a weird time. It was nighttime as well. So at that point, just really unfortunate for TSM. That should have just been a clean Ursa kill and them taking mid tower. Instead, they lose the fight. Now they get bit behind in net worth. But if we've seen anything so far, it's them getting some pickoffs. They can still do it. Brawl has also shifted his itemization, went for the BKB. Definitely the safer position when the game is a lot closer. But Ags afterwards is going to give him huge damage output. It's going to make sure you can clear CK illusions. They'll farm faster. Lots of good stuff will come from it.
They have to make sure that they put down this lockdown, though. Like, that's a huge deal because there's a BKB now on Quinn. So these Ice Blasts, if they don't lock him down, he's going to be able to pop the BKB, and he's going to have a great time in these fights. But the smoke did pop here over on the side. Brile looking to fish. Not going to catch anything. An arrow going to just connect over onto one of the illusions of the CK. And TSM just going to back off here. They'll sit behind Brile, figuring they might try to make a move. But Quincy crew, they're happy to go back away, continue farming.
Yeah, I really like how Quinn has transitioned, though. Like you said, the BKB is really crucial. At least they do have a BKB piercing disable, right? They could potentially Pudge ulti him and still lock him down. But if he gets Ice Blasted, the only way he dies after that is pretty much just going to be Sven damage. So it kind of means that it's going to be slightly harder for TSM to get those pickoffs unless all the important heroes are there. That's assuming they misexecute it all. But if they do, like hook Quinn, if he just pops BKB, he's very likely going to be able to get out, no problem. So I just like that Quinn transition from having a really strong laning performance to buying the correct defensive items to give him the best chances to not get TSM back in the game. And he's kept his net worth up very high as a result. So really nice transition for him. And now he's going to go back for an offensive item again with the Shard. So playing very safe, but still staying on top of the net worth as a result.
It's looking very good here for the side of Quincy crew as, oh man, all the drawings all over the map over here. They know where they want to go. But I do like
it is kind of important that TSM defends this area though, because they do need a lot of farm on their heroes.
But they don't have like the greatest kind of poke heroes, right? Like usually you've got something that's fairly mobile, like a puck or whatnot, that can kind of push out the waves and then, you know, just disappear. But it is a little bit more difficult.
They have a very similar cute creature that's push out lanes. That's Underlord. That's the one that they've got to push out the side lanes and to be relatively survivable. He's got to be careful, but so far he's done a good job. Ursa's got Blink, Diffusal, BKB here. They spot Saberlight. That puck is gonna die.
Yeah, he do be a cutie though, and the very dead one at that.
Oh my god, that was so fast. He died so fast. Oh, he's got Nether Shawl. That's probably why. So a little bit less armor than normal, and the Reality Rift plus the Ursa. But they're looking for more. Brow wants to hook somebody.
Doesn't not hook anyone. Does manage to arrow the IO though at the very least, but the BKB getting popped on Bryle. Leslie also popping his own. Just gonna back. So the Blink Dagger is completed now for Sven. So could choose to try to make another initiation once his Underlord's up, knowing that they've got Blink BKB on their Sven. But this Roche
hypothetically,
is open.
Yeah, that could have worked for TSM actually if Quincy spread out a little bit and he gets like a single pick.
They're gonna go in. This is very awkward.
Fada looking a little dead. But if Quincy had spread out a little bit and maybe like a support moves over to D-Ward that cliff spot because they were going to go for Roche, that would have been a great time for TSM to get a hook kill. So it could have potentially been good, but the fact that they lost BKB for it, a bit of a bummer. But also killing Fada in the mid lane is going to help make up for it. It still will be an Aegis that certainly falls for Quincy crew, but they're decent compromises that TSM is making in this current losing position. But they can definitely still pull out a win here, no doubt in my mind. But it's going to be a hard one that once they get Aegis.
Well, it's going to be a very dead Fata, but again, this Roche is going down so quickly that that's more than... I'm sure Quincy crew is more than happy to make that trade.
Yeah, it's fine. Fada's mega farmed once again. He really likes buying the Ag Scepters on his 5s. He went Brown Boots, Drum of Endurance to help his team. Wants to get Ags next. It'll actually be pretty useful because he could do stuff like toss in Ursa if they need to, or grab a creep to interrupt maybe Pudge ulti potentially.
Or saves too.
Or
you've got
that's true actually.
Yeah,
really
you've got
point.
some nice options there. I like it better than what was it? Sammy Boy the other day was playing Enchantress and he went for the Ag Scepter, like Dragonlance Ag Scepter. And I was just kind of like, wow, I feel like if he had some sort of like utility item to help save the team, it might be a little bit more valuable. In this case, you know, with the Ag Scepter, you've got ways to help do the initiation and also a save, which I think is pretty valuable.
I mean, I thought the same about Sammy Boy's build until he started sprinking the shit out of the enemy team. Because there was like 1 or 2 fights where he actually did a lot of damage. It's cool seeing teams experiment. Like, it's okay for our 5s to get a little bit of farm to take some priority because they have a crucial ability that's going to be effective. Like, Ags could be really good on Snapfire. In the case of the TSM FTX side, it went to their 4, which is more traditional. But sometimes the 5 position hero, it makes a little bit more sense to give them the net worth. So, all right, the game resumes. Now we get to watch Fada die.
Guten bye-bye, Fata. But again, they get the Aegis. They're happy with this. Ice Blast is a little bit late. Does manage to clip a couple. But they have already gotten what they wanted out of that pit.
Can they get the tower as well? Yes. Not bad at all. They get a Roche. TSM gets a tier 1 and a kill.
Jump in immediately. Overruns to Tabano. Look at this damage. All right, Yule's coming into play. Very nicely done from Moon Meander. Will allow them to back off.
Spooky. Once again, it's that heavy physical damage when he doesn't have Warcry active with Mask of Madness active. He dies very, very quickly against the Ursa. He's got to be careful. But gets out of it, no problem this time. Queuing up a...
I think we're going to see the
forgot the name.
Nullifier.
The Nullifier.
Nullifier?
Yeah, interesting. Very good against Necrophos. That's like the hard counter item. He's going to have BKB, but I think you can nullify through BKB now. They changed that once you were allowed to BKB and...
Oh.
Dude. Oh, he's close. He deserved the live. Once again, using that for vision. But yeah, you can nullify through BKB, so that'll be a great solution against Necrophos. They can actually still guarantee him taking physical damage. The kind of... I guess it's straightforward for Tomato, though, because if he's going to be the one using it, he can actually just target and kill Necrophos in these fights. They won't even necessarily need to use Ice Blast on him now, too, because saving him is just not going to be a possibility. Unless they relocate him or something, but...
The aggression from Yoar just running in, running past these tier 2s. Not a care in the world.
But they still got to get the nullifier for now before it starts feeling really valuable. Vlad's picked up for Mirana.
Guessing that'll eventually
will be very nice
into the full Wraith Pact. Yep, it's got that queued up. Too good to not get this, especially when you're up against this physical damage from the Ursa.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. He's definitely very good at hitting Wraith Pact with Overpower, but in close team fights, you want to use his Overpower stacks to slap heroes, not wards. So, yeah, it's one way, especially because Ursa's also very survivable. Like, if Ursa's jumping in with Shard and he's got Enrage on most of the time, Wraith Pact Totem's amazing. Because even if it doesn't do any damage to Ursa, it's still reducing his damage by 30%. Like, basically, Moon Meanders, look at his items. They're all just like Ursa's solution items. He's trying to solve the game. He's like, all right, I need Spirit Vessel to counter all these heals. I need Yules against Ursa because it's godly. If he enrages, you Yules him. If he jumps in, you Yules him. And now he's getting Wraith Pact, which is also going to be good against Ursa. Just all these excellent items. Tons of utility. But he's really making his net worth count.
It's looking very valuable for sure as they smoke up on both sides of the map. We've got Quincy playing around Quinn, figuring that, all right, he's the one who shows in lane. I'm sure they're going to be jumping after him. But TSM, they're making their way down to the bottom area. Maybe trying to shore up this triangle, get a little farming going, and perhaps start a push. Did just pick up a Blink Dagger over on Laszlo too, so he's looking for any sort of initiation that he can get. They are split up a little bit though. Are hitting the creeps in the mid lane. Bryle kind of wandering over. Does have Dubu nearby in case they manage to land a nice hook dismember. In fact, they find themselves a bear. There's the dismember, the ice blast coming in, waiting for that maximum amount, but not going to be able to quite finish off here. Good Atos coming up for Saberlight. They're just going to try to hold the bear in place. Try to just continuously kite, if at all possible. A little bit of dust out. They've already used the war cry. War looking for an angle. They can see Fata and Laszlo over here on the side. And they do have nice vision, though. There's a lot of
my God.
into everyone over there. Over on to 3. They'll throw down the Pit of Mouse. They'll get the kill on Bryle. And now it looks like TSM, they're on the back foot. A couple of these Snapfire Kisses getting tossed out. Not going to be super effective, but they've already gotten 2 on the side of TSM, and they're going to be able to take this tower.
What
a
an
lot.
impactful gobble up. It was so good. It hit 3 heroes. And then he cookies himself in to stun the other 2 for another like 2.5 seconds. So impactful from Fata to spend his net worth that way. And he's just like breaking vision with his hero. Like all these heroes have full HP. Look at this.
Chomp.
This fight looked so one-sided at the end. That's 3 heroes stunned for like 5 seconds pretty much. Quinn gets a guaranteed ulti off. They chase down the other 2. Tomato gets ran at as well. He's gonna end up staying alive with Warcry and the BKB, but oh my god, what a grab from Fata. He just read them and instantly punished.
Yeah, he's really proving his worth to this particular series, especially. Oh god, all right. I
think he thought safe. I thought it was safe in the creep wave that Yoar was in the area, so he just jumps and kills him. No BKB available. Uses Diffusal Blade. You can't beat Yoar there, especially when he's got the Basher. Big kill, and now things are looking a lot rougher for TSM now. Last couple fights, they looked all right, but we don't have a blink on Pudge either, so that makes your life a lot harder. You have to land your hooks from angles that people expect you to come from. And even if he does land a hook...
Oh, look at this. They drag BKB right back in again. This is going to be a dead Bryle. You are thinking he wants a little more here. Saberlight. Oh, they get the bash off, though. Look at this damage. Just try to push him away. The push forward, though, yet again. Yours a little deep, but Laszlo says, don't worry, I got you. I'm going to follow you up. I'm not going to leave you hanging. We'll find ourselves a kill on Moon Meander. No problem. They're just running after. There's not much that they can do right now. Saberlight, again, just trying to kite this Ursa. They watch Quinn. He's like, get in there. Get yourself a kill. Get a scythe. Beautifully done from Fata.
Fata's just like, get in there, dude. Go get that kill.
Do not let him get away. Oh no, Tomato. Oh, they just bring him right back in. God, this is looking so rough for TSM. Quincy crew is just absolutely owning in this game. Maybe this is the magic combination, Purge. They're looking really, really good right now.
They are. They're playing really amazing here. The 2-0ing the team that got second at the major. Just an incredible performance. And Quinn is even on his home setup. He's like playing in a weird building. Can't even like normalize those conditions very well, but he's got enough practice under his belt now. He's been able to make it work. But ultimately, the draft just felt so good for them. They did so good in both of these two drafts. The Necrophos matchup against the Pudge, they were ready to deal with this.
Bryle again pops the BKB defensively. Do they gobble up the toss? Yeah, I needed a bash, but they could drop back over onto Moon. Just have that Yules into play, and now Bryle, it's just Yawars. This is the Yawar show. He can just run at everybody. Spot gets killed. They call GG. They've had enough on the side of TSM. They cannot deal with what Quincy Crew is bringing in this series.